legends, Steve from Southern Star Review. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a review and a bit of a performance test on a new 2022 Kawasaki Pro DX Mule. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. So the Mule's powered by a 993cc 3-cylinder diesel. It's got heaps of torque. Produces 17.8 kilowatts of power at 3600 RPM and 52.1 Newton meters of torque at 2400 RPM. And also has continuously variable transmission, an electronically selectable 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, dual mode rear differential with the diff lock. Also has speed sensitive electronic power steering, which is pretty amazing, and all four wheels, are in independent suspension, so it's, you know, pretty comfortable and capable. So yeah, we'll keep going and come and have a look and see what we reckon. Right, so we've got obviously a little plastic pull handle to open the door. I kind of feel that they could have maybe done it better, because I mean, yeah, I don't know, if you're on a steep hill or something and you stick that pin in your ass, that'll bloody hurt. But anyway, yeah, plenty of room. You do sit up pretty high in it. We have a 20 square foot tilt tray. It does fit a full pallet with the tailgate shut. Load capacity is 500 kilograms, and you know, it's checker plate steel on the floor of the tray on the bed, and you've obviously got your, you know, tie down rails and stuff like that, which also does accept all the Kawasaki add-ons for your tray. Let's pop it up. Kind of one thing I wish they did for a farm truck, because generally you're always going to be out, you know, doing stuff yourself. You know, if they had made it so that you could just open it from either side with just one person, instead of walking around all the time. Yeah, could have made it a lot easier, I'd reckon, but I mean, look at the size of that bloody tray. If you can't fit enough shit in there to do your farm work or whatever, then you need a Land Cruiser. All right, so I'll stick that down for a sec. So it's nice and easy to maneuver with one person. I haven't tested it with 500 kilos sitting in the back trying to tip off a load of dirt or feed or anything like that yet, but you know, it'll come. It does have a cool little safety thing that just clicks to the rear bar there, just so that if you're working on the motor or, you know, cleaning it out, you know, you can get easy access into here. One thing I do like is that it lifts up high enough to allow you to, you know, physically, you know, you could basically sit in there if you really wanted to. So this has the 3-cylinder Yanmar motor, which is, you know, just produces so much torque. I do believe this is the last model that's going to have it. Down here I've just got these two little clips that you undo, and that kind of comes out like that. So in here you got your battery and your air filter, which probably isn't a bad place for it. It's one of the downsides to any buggy. You've got to, you know, wherever the air cleaner is going to get dusty, so it's really important to make sure that you you know, regularly cleaning and re-oiling your air filter. One thing I definitely don't like already is if you poke yourself in there, that's your dipstick for your oil. So I've got a pretty big hand, but I mean, yeah, it's just kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to get it from there. I guess especially if you were, you know, broken down or something, I suppose. But anyway, that's what they've done, and that's pretty easy to clip back on. Just goes back in like so. One clip over that side, and that just is like a little spring-loaded clip, which is I don't know, feels like it'll break pretty quick if you know, hit a stick there. It sort of I don't know, and it is just plastic with 4 rivets in it, so I think that could have been thought out a little bit better. But anyway, stick this down. Alright, you stay there and I'll duck around and I'll show you under the seat. Okay, so you talk about you know, having space and stuff to store shit. Have a look at that. You basically have the whole center over like open. Obviously you have your 30-litre diesel tank on the passenger side. There is a little, it's not waterproof, but it is a weather resistant you know, storage box. It is pretty deep, goes down to my elbow, and that can hold a maximum of 9 kilos or 20 pounds. So we've seen a lot of farmers basically design a box that bolts into this center area for extra storage. Whatever you store in there, you definitely don't want it to get, you know, to get damaged if it gets wet. You can see there's heaps of, you know, grass seed and shit in there. The protective floor plate is only plastic, but as I said, it is fully welded ladder type tubular steel chassis and everything like that. You know, all your diesel filters and particulate filters are here right next to the diesel tank. They're nice and easy to access, and yeah, I mean there's no problem working on this vehicle yourself. It's absolute piece of cake. Righto, so hopping in now, I'm 6'2.5", and you can see I've got, you know, plenty of leg room. I would like something there, I guess. The steering wheel is just really awesome. I've got big hands, but it's comfortable, it's thick, and yeah, it's actually quite nice. It kind of feels like you're driving a Mitsubishi L300, but anyway, obviously got your handbrake, your rear differential lock, your 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive switch, and your headlight switch. Nice and easy to change through gears. There's no, you know, locking lugs. It's just in and out, down, whatever. All right, so that's nice and easy. Got a little bit of storage there. Obviously your computer that tells you stuff. Right. It's a 3-seater, has 3 seat belts, and we've got 220 watt 10 amp cigarette plugs. And then here, got a little glove compartment for whatever. And most importantly, you got a cup holder and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll take this for a drive and have a look. We've also, based on previous videos of the Viking, the guy that owns this has gone to the fold-up windscreen as well from Aussie Power Sports. They are awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, can't really go wrong. And the CV guards, as we did in a previous video to Shane's Viking, are coming also from Aussie Power Sports. So yeah, at first impressions, it definitely looks like it's built tough. Definitely looks like it'll be easier for you know, farmers or whatever to service it themselves. Definitely a lot more room to get into most of the engine components and stuff than your traditional you know, side by side. But yeah, let's take it up the back and see what I can't get into trouble with. All right, so I got Shane, me helper. He's going to jump in. He's 5'11", standing on a Yellow Pages phone book. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, mate, it feels pretty roomy. Like, it's not you know, these bench seats are reasonably comfortable. You're very upright in them.
Yeah.
You know, whereas
the back is very vertical, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I guess you have to see how it goes over time, driving around on rough surfaces. But
and what are your thoughts on the steering wheel? You could probably hang on to that all day, couldn't you?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, obviously it's there to support you as well, so I suppose that's going to help you with the bench seat.
Yeah, and it is fully adjustable as well.
I like the positioning of the pedals. Everything's in the right spot. It's got your handbrake there, your shifter. You know, everything feels like it's right where it needs to be.
Awesome. Righto, I'll get you to jump out. I just want to show everyone something that I found out yesterday. All right, so I mean, the bloke that owns this, there's this big storage area, which is basically just behind the seat. Now, he's had heaps of stuff in there, and then comes back and he was saying to me, oh, did you take me pliers? And I'm like, no. But what happens is if you have a look in here, everything slides down and then it's gone. And it does that on both sides. So it's kind of like a bit of a wasted space if you can't use it, right? Now, if we just quickly, I've got to go and unlock it, sorry guys. If we just quickly unlock this, right, you can see that's the storage area there where, well, storage area in inverted commas, right? And that comes up, right? So you've got this rib here to stop, you know, dirt and stuff or mud coming, you know, into the engine bay, right? But I guess you know, you've got to drain it, but you can see it's a big lot of space and it's just wasted. So I guess you could put, you know, build a little tray to sit in there or something like that to keep your tools safe. But yeah, I definitely, yeah, that's kind of weird to me. I don't like it, but anyway, we'll take it for a drive and see what happens. There's one thing for sure, mate, she's pretty loud, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can definitely hear it a mile away.
What?
Hey?
Hey? All right. I probably could have wound the windows up. I reckon Pat might be a little bit upset since he just watched it this morning for us. But anyway, happy days. I'm going to show you.
Yeah. Whose idea was that?
and even just idling down, it's basically just rolling down the hill. So if we go back into high, kind of really don't think that the engine's not really, you know, dropping down to its lower range to try and hold you, you know, like once it thinks you don't need low range anymore, it just basically cuts into your idle and you just roll down the hill anyway. We'll just get over this ridge here. You can really feel it grabbing now. We were doing 15 k's an hour and it's actually slowing us down. See how it goes, just it's almost like it just releases, it goes into idle and you just start rolling. And the brakes just realistically aren't as good as they should be. I mean, they pull you up, but I mean, if you had a full, you know, tray full of stuff, you know, trailer full of fencing wire or whatever, maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm using it wrong. That's just my opinion. I just think that, you know, engine braking is engine braking. You shouldn't be releasing out of its rev range to go back into basically idling and just rolling down the hill. It's going to be a strange sensation. Do you agree, Shane?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Like, it doesn't seem to really pull you up, does it?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Rightio, well, we made a little bit of a mess of the thing today, but that's going to happen. All in all, it's a pretty well constructed side-by-side. There's not really anything that I can compare it to, and I don't really want to. A few things that I'd really, you know, lack refinement is the braking is pretty inadequate, especially if you were, you know, fully loaded, 500 kilos on the tray, and towing a ton behind you. I think the braking lacks a little bit there. Definitely the seat. As we were discussing earlier with the storage area that's not a storage area behind the seat, I think they probably could have used that a little bit better, you know, with some a different kind of a setup, just to give farmers and stuff a bit more comfortable ride. Because it does, you know, like if you think about it, it's okay for us going around, you know, driving it for a couple of hours, but if you're in there all day, 365 days a year, you know, it's probably going to get old really quick. And the tray, I'd still like to see it being able to release both sides from either side, just for ease of use. I mean, you know, if you're out working by yourself and walking around, every time you got to open it and shut it and all that kind of stuff would become pretty old. Also, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that the roof, it does not come standard. It's an optional extra, which obviously every farmer would want, so I'm not sure why that is an extra. It should just be on there. Coming over to the tray, you know, yeah, it's checker plated steel, but I definitely believe that Kawasaki should have a custom, you know, heavy duty rubber mat that comes standard, because that's going to make all the difference and make it a little bit quieter inside. The good things about it, it is solid. When you're in it, you can feel the torque all the way up through whatever speed you're doing. It's amazing. The steering is awesome. It's almost like a like an old Mitsubishi L300. You're kind of sitting over the wheels a little bit more at the front, but it kind of is what it is. So I think that the dash and everything is nice and easy. It's simply laid out. There's plenty of room to add other switches if you wanted to put in, you know, spotlights and things like that. And all in all, far out, mate. You just never know who's going to turn up and wreck your videos. But all in all, I think Kawasaki's, you know, done a pretty good job making it strong, solid, reliable, without all the finer finishing. So I mean, everything that they, you know, that they've put together isn't too bad. But yeah, the braking is definitely one thing for me, and probably the most important thing as a farm truck. When, you know, every farm needs to have a horn, right? You get a horn standard on your motorbike, you get a horn on your quad bike, but this does not have a horn. I don't know why, but if you're listening to me, get one, Kawasaki, and put it in. Like, stop, you know, there's OEM stuff that you can get, but it should be in there when you buy it, because it's designed for a farm, you know, or whatever, and you need to have a horn. Even a forklift has a horn. It's just, yeah, the best way to do it. But, you know, if you're mustering, you know, work and fencing and all that kind of stuff, this is definitely awesome. It's just got a whole heap of power. It's not the fastest thing, so, you know, if you're on 50 or 100,000 acres or more, it's probably you know, not viable for you to have one unless you're running with, you know, just around the workshop and things like that. Otherwise it'd take you hours to get places out there. But all in all, I think it's a pretty good solid side by side, but it does need a little bit of refinement. Probably the best way to describe it is if you wanted to turn an old 75 series Land Cruiser into a side by side, this is exactly what you'd get, but you'd get a horn. So yeah, I really want to thank my mate Pat and his wife Chris for allowing us to flog his buggy around and make it dirty, since he just washed it for me this morning. And I hope you really liked the video. Please smash the like button, leave any comments or questions you've got down below, and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay safe and get your outside on.